Because we sit there and be like, Oprah got $2 billion. Jay-Z got $1 billion. Didn't Kanye get $1.7 billion? Yeah, that got billions. That money out here. None of us. They got no damn money. Oprah and Jay-Z put their money together, still can't afford the Boston Celtics.
Jay-Z might have $1 billion to his name, but Camron says it don't even matter. Because no matter how high Jay climbs, they still won't let him sit at the real table. Cam went off with this one. He said the real money, the real power, it's all hidden behind the curtain. That's the game beyond the games, he called it. You can win every award, stack Grammys like trophies, and run up billions through business deals, but if you can't sit at that elite sports ownership table, you're still just watching from the stands. Crazy, right?
When I write this, I was just thinking like, yo, it be games beyond the games, man. And we losing. We losing bad, man. Just sick of it.
Cam broke it down so raw that people had to pause and replay it. He said, you could take Oprah, Jay-Z, and Kanye, put all their money together, and they still couldn't buy the Boston Celtics. That's wild. Think about that for a second. 3 culture-shifting billionaires, all legends in their own right, and yet they still don't hold the keys to that next level of power.
We be sitting there hyped over, and another B, and another B, and another B. Ain't enough B's, man. It's not enough to get the Celtics, man.
That's when Cam said, we're losing out here. Because for him, it's deeper than money. It's about access, control, and who really runs the room. And that line hit heavy because he wasn't just talking about sports, he was talking about the system. Camron made it clear. This ain't about fame or flexing checks, it's about ownership. He's tired of seeing black moguls stacking millions, but still having no real control over the table they helped build. Cam gave Jay-Z his props for coming up from nothing, grinding through every level and turning himself into a full-blown empire. But then he hit everyone with that cold dose of truth. He said, even with all that success, all that money, they still can't buy the Boston Celtics. And that's the part that stings. He broke it down with real talk. They hype us up every time someone becomes the first billionaire. But what's the point if the system's still locked up? The real game's still rigged and those doors to true ownership still shut tight. Cam didn't hold back either. He called out the whole token conversation, talking about those deals that look like power, but really ain't.
They're involved in, but obviously it's some lucrative shit to where they have a spare $6.1 billion. That's first and foremost. But I just be like, yo, bro, it's games beyond the games and we ain't even in the fucking arena, let alone on the bench or the back burner. We are losing.
He even brought up Magic Johnson saying, let's be real. Magic might have 2%, maybe 6% of a team, but that ain't power. That's participation. The crowd went silent after that one. Cam said when you're the majority owner, you call the shots. You don't just show up, smile, and take photos for the cameras. Then he said something bold. They'll never let someone like me own the Mavericks. But I don't buy that for a second, because if history's shown us anything, it's that real change starts with the ones they swear will never make it happen. What Cam said about the system being locked tight is real. Those doors ain't wide open yet, but best believe it's only a matter of time before somebody kicks them clean off the hinges. Jay-Z, LeBron, even Michael Jordan, they already proved we can get in the building. Now the next step is owning the whole floor, not just renting the corner. Cam's frustration makes perfect sense though. He's speaking from experience. Watching how, even with billions stacked, folks still get told, you can't sit here. That's wild. But here's the thing. It's dangerous to start believing that kind of wall can't be broken, because the second we start doubting ourselves, that's when we stop building.
And like I said, I got pockets changed compared to these niggas. We can't get the Celtics. We can't get the Celtics. We can't do nothing about it. When are they going to let us play? When are we going to be able to get some of this chicken to where we can get something? It's no black owners in the NFL. Not one.
That's when black generational wealth slows down and everything we fought for starts to fade. Think about it. 20 years ago, the idea of a rapper being a billionaire sounded like a fantasy. Nobody saw it coming. Now we've got multiple ones walking around with business empires and legacy money. That proves the blueprint's working, even if the access ain't all the way unlocked yet. Jay-Z might not own a full team today, but don't sleep. He's planting seeds every move he makes. He's teaching people how to think like a corporation, not just a celebrity with a chain and a check. That mindset is what's going to force the system to make space for us whether they like it or not. And who's to say the next chapter ain't us creating our own leagues? Imagine Jay-Z or LeBron teaming up with the right tech, the right investors, and the right infrastructure. We could build something brand new, a league where the ownership looks like us, sounds like us, and moves by our rules. That's the real power move waiting to happen. But Cam didn't just stop at ownership talk. He took it even deeper. He started breaking down how the system's been designed to look fair while still keeping the power locked away. He said it's like being invited to the party, but never being allowed to touch the playlist. You can be in the room, you can smile for the pictures, but the real decisions, they're happening somewhere else. He talked about how every time a black entrepreneur makes it big, they start facing invisible walls, regulations, buyout clauses, secret investor blocks, all the stuff you don't hear about until it's too late. Cam said, they let you climb the ladder, but when you get close to the roof, they move the ceiling higher. That line had the internet spinning. He wasn't hating on Jay-Z or LeBron. He was exposing how deep the game really runs, because in his eyes, this isn't about individual wins anymore. It's about collective control. Cam said it straight. If one of us gets through the door, that don't mean the rest of us made it. And that's a truth a lot of people don't want to admit. But here's where it hit different. Cam wasn't just complaining, he was challenging. He said the new generation needs to start thinking beyond partnerships and sponsorships and start building real infrastructure. No more waiting for approval, no more begging for seats. Build your own table, own the chairs, and make your own rules. It was raw, powerful, and honest. Camron turned what sounded like frustration into a full-blown blueprint for real independence. Cam's message had people talking nonstop online, but what really shook things up was how many agreed with him. Social media was flooded with folks saying he just said what everybody's been thinking, but too scared to admit. One comment blew up. It said, "Jay got money, but Cam got the truth." That one went viral fast. People started pulling up clips of Jay-Z's old interviews where he talked about legacy, control, and ownership, comparing them to what Cam just said. It sparked a whole debate. Has the system really evolved, or is it just rebranded to look more inclusive while the power still sits in the same hands? Heavy question, right? Cam's energy wasn't just coming from hate. It came from frustration, from watching the same cycles repeat. He said it's not about tearing each other down. It's about waking people up. We keep celebrating getting invited to the table, he said, when we should be building our own dining room. That line caught fire across TikTok and Twitter instantly. Even industry vets started chiming in. Some agreed, saying Cam was spot on about fake access in the business world, while others called him bitter, claiming he's just mad he's not part of those deals. But no matter what side you're on, you can't deny he struck a nerve. And that's what made this moment so wild. It's bigger than just rap beef or opinions. It's about power, perception, and who's really in control when the lights go off. Camron didn't just start a conversation. He cracked open a whole truth that's been sitting under the surface for years. After that rant, the industry couldn't stay quiet. Reporters, podcasters, and even retired athletes jumped in, dissecting every word Cam said. Some were calling it the most honest take in hip-hop this year. Others tried to paint him as bitter, saying he's just stirring the pot because he's not on the billionaire list. But the thing is, Cam didn't sound jealous. He sounded fed up. He said, "It's not about me wanting Jay's spot. It's about the truth nobody else want to say out loud. And that truth, that even with fame, money, and power, there's still a ceiling built to keep certain people from touching ownership that actually matters." He wasn't just talking sports. He was talking banks, tech companies, media networks, all of it. The man was firing shots at the whole structure. And fans felt it. They started sharing clips of his old interviews from the Dipset era, showing how he's always been outspoken about the business side of things. It's like he's been trying to tell people for years, but this time, the world finally listened. Even LeBron's name started trending after people brought up how hard it was for him to get partial ownership in teams, despite being one of the most influential athletes alive. That connection made Cam's words hit even harder. Now everyone's watching to see who speaks up next. Will Jay respond? Will LeBron or someone else finally break that silence and join the conversation? Because this isn't just a headline anymore. It's a movement. Cam didn't just drop a quote. He lit a fire. And the whole culture's feeling the heat. And that's how it really begins. The spark turns into a movement. So yeah, I feel what Cam's saying, but I still believe we're moving in the right direction. The wealth is growing, the mindset's changing, and that independent energy, it's stronger than ever. The system might have been built to keep us out, but come on, it's never stopped us before. We've been breaking barriers since day one, and this time, it's about more than just proving a point. It's about rewriting the whole playbook. If we keep building smart, keep investing, and stop letting self-doubt creep in, we'll be the ones calling the shots in every room. The next chapter is already being written by people who refuse to play small. This generation isn't just chasing money. We're chasing control, purpose, and the kind of legacy that echoes for generations. Because let's be real, it's not just about owning a sports team anymore. It's about owning the culture, the companies, the future. It's about planting something so real that nobody can buy or block it. So here's the question. Do you think Jay-Z will ever truly own a major sports team in his lifetime? Or is it time for us to flip the script completely and start our own leagues, our own systems, and our own rules? Drop your thoughts down below in the comments because this convo is far from over. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to FameWhisp for more real talk, deep dives, and untold stories from the culture. See you in the next one.